Good evening, and welcome to UCM on this beautiful day after the primary. Whoever you were voting for, whoever you were rooting for, whoever you were terrified of or excited about, I know, because I know you, you were all out there voting and working to maximize the chance of your vision being realized through the electoral process. Thank you for all of that, and I want to invite you now to all take a deep breath in and let it out, and say goodbye to that day for now. Because we've come to this day, one of my favorite days of the Athens year. A day when we take time out to do something that we do far too seldom. To celebrate the lives and the work and the achievements and the vision of people who dedicate their lives to the cause of social justice, in whatever form it takes for them. These people don't get celebrated nearly enough. And it's always exciting and inspiring and invigorating for me, and I hope it is for you, when this day comes around and we get to celebrate together. So I want to open with a reading from a woman named, appropriately enough, Hope Johnson. It's called One Love. We are one. A diverse group of proudly kindred spirits, here not by coincidence, but because we choose to journey together. We are active and proactive. We care deeply. We live our love as best we can. We are one. Working, eating, laughing, playing, singing, storytelling, sharing, and rejoicing. Getting to know each other. Taking risks. Opening up. Questioning, seeking, searching. Trying to understand. Struggling. Making mistakes. Paying attention. Asking questions, listening, living our answers, learning to love our neighbors, learning to love ourselves. Apologizing and forgiving with humility, being forgiven through grace. Creating the beloved community together. We are one. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being together. Thank you for being the one that we envision, the one that we dream of. This is the prayer, this is the song, this is the celebration of my heart, and I know of yours as well. This is the spirit in which we begin our celebration tonight. I want to invite the Executive Director of UCM, Melissa Wales.
And in programs like this, where we work to bring campus and community together to support activism, to support hopefully like 5 minutes max, because one of the things about this event that makes it so special is the group that's assembled here, and particularly our Social Justice Award recipients. And we try to get a photo, and we know that Katie Conlin has to leave before 7. So I would like to invite all of the recipients to come up, and we've sort of set a stage here where folks can sit, and then the rest of you can kind of gather behind the first row. We'll get a picture, and then we'll continue with the stage. So we're sort of figuring out how this works.
Some people need to
Should
sit.
put some people in chairs.
Yeah, there needs to be some people sitting down.
Nobody goes to the front.
That way I'm sure
Help
that's
these people
true.
sit.
This is in the form of check.
Paparazzi.
Smiling guys. Just keep smiling. Tortures.
How about we give this fantastic group a round of applause? Everybody get their photo? The post, one more. You're going to put it front page of the post, right? Social change. A couple of other things I want to bring to your attention. Upcoming events. For those of you that don't know, this isn't a UCM program, but Appalachia Resist, which is a previous Social Justice Award recipient that is working on issues of fracking and environmental justice in our community, is having a social and environmental justice action camp this weekend. There are flyers over there. It says RSVP by March 7th, but they said there's still space. And you can come to all or part of the really impressive agenda that they have going out at Federal Valley this weekend. We also have Peggy Gish. Where's Peggy? Here. Hi, Peggy.
Hi.
Peggy Gish. If you don't know Peggy Gish,
Shame on you.
yeah. She is a Kira Griesinger Lifetime Social Justice Award recipient, an amazing activist, longtime activist in our community. You can learn more about Peggy at an event that we're having on April 5th in the Walter Hall Rotunda. It's one of our Better Together events, which is our student organization movement to build interfaith community and cooperation on campus. Peggy's life and work embodies that work. So she's going to be sharing her stories from Iraq, Palestine, and most recently Nigeria. So please come out to that event on April 5th. If you're students or even if you're not, Better Together is doing our signature watershed cleanup event with Monday Creek as part of Athens Beautification Day, and that's April 17th. So we're ending the semester on a really good note. This event has been happening since 1983. So what did we decide, Kelly, at 33 years? The UCM board has recognized outstanding individuals, students, community members, and organizations for their efforts to promote peace and justice in our community and beyond. And tonight is no exception. I'd like to take a few moments to thank the UCM board. Kelly Tibbs, our chair. Who else? Board, please. Andrew Stewart, who is our outgoing treasurer. Andrew's been on the board now for how many years? 6.5 years. Was a program coordinator before I started as program coordinator, so we're going to miss Andrew a lot in his service and support. Josh, where's Josh? Josh Bodnar is on our board. Amanda Hobson is our secretary, and who am I missing? Quite a few of our board members couldn't be here tonight, but they have provided food, the food that you see there. We're really grateful for our board. We always boast that we have one of the most hardworking boards in Southeast Ohio. And we're actually looking for board members. So if that's something that you're interested in, being in service to our organization in a board capacity, not a board capacity. It's not board.
Never bored.
Thanks to my amazing and dedicated colleagues, Reverend Young, who came on full time as our campus minister this past year, which has been a real blessing. Jennifer Kelly.
Because of you and people like you, we could do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Jennifer Kelly, our office manager extraordinaire. And of course, the United Campus Ministry student interns. We have Lacey, we have Kat, we have Josh, and Alex. Also thanks thanks to Lambda Chi Alpha, which is our next door neighbor here. Thanks to Alex and her kind of organizing efforts has brought them on as kind of supporters of UCM, in particular our free meal programs. They're taking it on as their local philanthropy. So they're raising money for us, they're donating food, and Alex is all the thing for that. So building partnerships, right? Very special thank you to former UCM Director, Reverend Jan Griesinger, for being here tonight and for supporting UCM in so many ways. It's such a blessing to have you here as a part of this event. Jan will be presenting the Cure Griesinger Award to Lois in a little bit. Carol Cure, the other half of that award, sends her regrets. She's out of town this week, but she would have loved to have been here to honor Lois and the rest of you tonight. Lastly, I want to thank all of you for helping to bend the moral arc of our universe a little bit more towards justice. Your voices, your actions, your activism are often met with backlash and great personal sacrifice. Tonight we thank you and we honor you for doing the work that needs to be done, and we hope that after each of you receive your award, you will speak for a few minutes to update us on what you're working on, what's going on, and to share what it is that inspires you and motivates you to do the really, really important work that you do. So thank you all again for being here. Please make sure you've signed up on our email list. The restrooms are right upstairs to the right. If you have any questions or concerns throughout the night, please let me know. And now I'd like to introduce our board chair, Kelly Tibbs.
Hello, good evening, and welcome again. On behalf of the board, I'd like to say welcome, and I'm glad to be here again one more year. This is, like Evan said, also one of my favorite events because it's so good to see all the people that are doing so much good in the Athens community. And sometimes I wonder why I'm the board chair, because I suck at Robert's Rules of Order. So Amanda keeps me together on that because I am terrible at it. So I just wonder sometimes how we get through our meetings.
Your strength's way out.
Yes, I'm glad I have other talents. So again, welcome and glad to see everyone here tonight. I just want to also plug a couple of our events that are coming up. Our annual meeting is on April 20th. It'll be held at Arts West again this year at 5:30 p.m. At that meeting, you'll get to see and hear about updates for UCM, the things we've been doing all throughout the year, see photos, slideshows, things like that. Eat some more great food, as well as find out what types of things we're going to be doing for the next year. Last year's meeting was really good. Arts West is a really good location for our meeting, and so I invite you all of you in here. I expect you to see you again next month, April 20th. And then it's already on the calendar, so mark your calendar, pull out your phones, put it on your schedule now. November 5th, 2016 is our next UCM benefit bash and dinner. Who came this past? Yes, good time? Yes, we had a blast. Lots of music, entertainment this year. Again, dancing. I think I remember some of you all dancing. So, I'm gonna look for you again. And so that's coming up, and that's our biggest fundraiser for the year. So I encourage you all that are in here again today to come to that, as well as invite someone to come with you. And that's held at the Athens Community Center. So, all right. So I will invite Evan to come on up. I probably did that wrong, but
okay.
Whatever. Whatever. As you can see, this is how I do. So we want to present the Cure Griesinger Lifetime Award, and I'll just give you background on that award. That award was started in 2008 to honor longtime activists and social change agents Carol Cure and Reverend Jan Griesinger. This award is given to individuals who have already received at least one social justice award and have sustained high-level, long-term work for social justice. Reverend Jan Griesinger, born 1942. Sorry, to have to reveal that to everybody.
Don't say sorry.
Okay.
We're glad to be here.
Yes. Some people like it, some don't. I'm glad you like it. Is co-director of Old Lesbians Organizing for Change, OLOC. She served 28 years as director of United Campus Ministry at Ohio University. She is on the board for the Appalachian Peace and Justice Network and sings in the Calliope Feminist Choir. She is a co-founder of the Susan B. Anthony Memorial Unrest Home Women's Land Trust near Athens, Ohio. I think that's right.
Jen, come on up.
Yes.
Thank you. Athens and southeastern Ohio is blessed to have had Reverend Jan here for as long as we have. She has been a tireless advocate for so many social justice causes, and UCM has been blessed in more ways than I could count. To have her as our director for so many years, as our director emerita since she retired, and as the beating heart and soul of our commitment, our ongoing commitment to social justice. It was a great pleasure to us to be able to start awarding the Cure Griesinger Lifetime Achievement Award for Social Justice, and it continues to be a great pleasure for us to have Jan here as a presenter of that award. So I'd like to invite our recipient, Lois Whaley, up and invite Jen to say a few words about Lois, and then I have some words to share as well. Lois is one of the first people I met when I came to Athens. I met her at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, and she was wearing a t-shirt, which is not really out of the ordinary in that congregation. But then every time I met her after that, she was wearing another t-shirt, a different t-shirt, and I began to notice a theme. Lois used her t-shirts to proclaim her message, her messages. Her t-shirts spoke her commitment. And as I got to know Lois more, and as I was honored and privileged and fortunate to serve that congregation for 10 years, I developed a real admiration for what those t-shirts symbolize, what they mean. Lois walks through her life completely embodying at all times a steadfast and unshakable commitment to working for the betterment of all, to working for social justice. She wears it like a t-shirt. It's comfortable, it's colorful, it engages people, and it speaks.
And it's inexpensive.
And I want you to think about that. Think about the example of walking through your life emblazoned with your passion for whatever it is that you want to bring into being in the world. That's what Lois has done. For more years than I have an actual figure for.
Right.
But so joyfully, so with such dedication, with such commitment, it's beyond words to express how much I admire the way she moves through the world and the impact that she's had. Please do read all of the things that Lois has been up to and develop your appreciation for her service, for her gifts. And when you get a chance, read her t-shirt and read her buttons, because they are always proclaiming more. They're always proclaiming the next thing, and Lois has never stopped finding the next thing that she cares about and works for.
Thanks. Well, this one says, plant justice and harvest peace. This is from the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee.
So, for your lifelong commitment to working for social justice, for the grace and the joy with which you wear that commitment and advertise it to others, we are honored to present you with the Cure Griesinger Lifetime Achievement Award for Social Justice.
Thank you.
I invite you to say a few words.
Oh, yes, I'll say that. Right, well, first of all, your program lists all the various winners since 1983, and you know, that's over 30 years. It's a long, long time. And as I read the names, I saw so many names of people that I've known over the years who've done wonderful work here in Athens, and especially the Lifetime Achievement people. Wow, I really feel honored to be numbered among their group, for sure. So you look on the back, you'll see it began in 2008, I believe, and those are all folks who've done wonderful things for Athens County and Ohio and our country over the years. I wanted to mention, since t-shirts have been brought up, that my very first t-shirt was in 1976. At the time, I was the president of the local League of Women Voters, and we decided we needed a fundraiser. Well, t-shirts were just coming in at that time. They weren't really, you know, they hadn't caught on the way they have now when everyone wears t-shirts. But our t-shirt said, "Have it your way, vote," which was sort of stealing from, I believe, a hamburger commercial. Now, the only problem is that because we were such pioneers, we had tons of t-shirts on our hands for several years. But eventually they all disappeared, and even the one that I had, I haven't been able to find. So I wanted to say a little bit about my interest. It's been mentioned that I've been active with the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. But of course, like many UUs, I started out as something else. And I remember particularly my Episcopal church in 1938, when I was about 6 years old. And my favorite song was "Jesus Calls Us." Now that's an old song. In fact, I looked recently at the new Episcopal hymnal, and alas, although there are 2 versions of "Jesus Calls Us" there, they do not have the music that I remember so well. But the whole idea, Jesus calls us, what does that mean? It means something to me because I am really Christian humanist, you might say, as a Unitarian Universalist. And the Jesus that I feel called me is the Jesus who spoke about the prodigal son, the Jesus who spoke about the fellow from, you know, over the hill, those bad people over there who couldn't be trusted and what all. But he was the one who stopped and helped the man who had fallen among the thieves. The Good Samaritan. The Jesus who talked down the men who were going to stone a woman to death for adultery and said, those who have no sin should cast the first stone. Well, those were good Jews, apparently, because they thought about it, and then they all left. They realized that they were sinners too. So This is something that has meant a lot to me, and why Jesus Calls Us is still my favorite hymn from when I was a child. I've been active with a lot of things, and you can read about those in the program, as has been said. And since 2008, when I got the award for the first time, what have I done? Well, a few new things, a lot of old things, but a few new things. One of which is the DOC group, the Democracy Over Corporations. And that got started in 2010 because of the Supreme Court's decision on Citizens United, which, if you'll recall, came about because of Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, the people who opposed her, made up a video that they wanted to play, but they were stopped from playing it because there was a regulation that you couldn't play things, within 30 days of the election or something like that, when people didn't have a chance to speak up and speak back. Well, the Supreme Court said, hey, free speech. Everybody has free speech. Corporations have free speech. Billionaires have free speech. And that speech can be money. That speech is represented often by money. And that's why we have the Bad Citizens United decision of the U.S. Supreme Court.
Yes.
Well, here we are now, The poor old U.S. Supreme Court is in serious trouble. It's in serious trouble because the Republicans have said they will not even consider a new justice to replace the late Antonin Scalia. This is bad, really bad, because that means that the Supreme Court will not be at its full strength of 9 people until who knows when, at least the middle of next year. Next year, if they persist in this absolute, impossibly bad idea of not confirming a Supreme Court justice, the Supreme Court is going to be hamstrung for at least a year, if not 2 years. And so my message to everyone here is get in touch with your senator, our senators, Rob Portman and Sherrod Brown, and say, we need to have the Senate of the U.S. do its job. The president has done his job. He's named someone that he hopes would appeal to the Republicans even. And yet they say they won't even talk to this man, Judge Garland from Washington, D.C. Well, okay, I've taken too much of your time already. Thank you very much for the award. I appreciate it greatly.
So our first Social Justice Award will go to Katie Conlon. So if you want to come on up. This award is for her commitments to social justice at Ohio University and abroad. Katie, I am gonna read this only because I get nervous. So Katie Conlon is the embodiment of a strong commitment to social justice. A senior in the Honors Tutorial College, Katie demonstrated strong leadership and compassion for the Athens community and beyond as soon as her boots landed on the bricks. As a freshman, Katie co-founded Students for Law, Justice, and Culture, which has worked closely with the Center for Law, Justice, and Culture to organize events on social justice themes such as mass incarceration and international law and politics. She has extended these interests through her work in Palestine, where she worked as a Peace Fellow, serving at a summer camp for local youth and organizing women to create embroidered narratives of the Palestinian experience. Katie is also a member of Fuck Rape Culture, a group aimed at eradicating rape culture from the Ohio University campuses. Katie also teaches Celtic dance and varsity tennis to the Athens community, of which she needs to get to the Celtic dance after this. So,
St. Patrick's Day is
yes,
busy
St. Patrick's Day is coming, so. Anything you want to say?
Well, first I want to thank everybody at UCM. It's truly an honor to be among this group of people, especially as someone who's just finishing up her time at Ohio University. The work that all these individuals and organizations are doing is truly inspiring. For me, the work that I do comes both from being an activist and being out on the streets, and also being an academic. And I found a really wonderful home for both of those things at OU. And I just feel so lucky to have found this tiny little community in southeastern Ohio that 5 years ago I had never heard of. I'm not from Ohio, so it just was never on my radar. But I really am very sad to be leaving in the spring, but I'm looking forward to using everything that I've had the chance to learn here and apply in international contexts, particularly in Palestine, in a master's program. So that's where I'm headed, I guess. But thank you all.
All right, our next award goes to Tyrone Carr. Come on down. So, this award is being given to Tyrone for fostering a deeper commitment to social justice, helping others to overcome adversity and resist oppressive, unjust circumstances. Tyrone Carr values relationships that cut across the lines of gender, class, race, ability, age, religion, political philosophy, and national origin that all too often divide us. During his career at Ohio University in the College of Medicine, the Offices of Financial Aid and Human Resources, and the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, he has striven to ensure just treatment and equal opportunity for everyone in a safe, accessible environment, open to difference in all forms. Tyrone leads by example, making time for those who need help, no matter how busy his day might be, being sensitive to others' particular needs, stepping up to assist with others, as well as working very diligently with the Martin Luther King Jr. Committee, and always willing to speak up when he perceives a problem or a possibility that someone is being or something is being wrong. Tyrone has gone out of his way to help students, faculty members, staff, and alumni who have come to him with concerns about disrespect, discrimination, and insensitivity. And so I'll just stop there because a lot of us in the room know who he is, and we've all benefited from the things that he's done in the community. So one more round of applause here.
That's an honor as well. When I think of a term like social justice, I often ponder the words of the greats who have come before me. And so I'm thinking about people like justice fighters like Mahatma Gandhi, Dorothy Height, Dr. Martin Luther King, or the everyday heroes and heroines and some of the folks that are right here in the audience. These people who really get recognized but fight against injustice in their villages, in their ghettos, in the rural communities, and the large metropolises and the small communities such as Athens. Having been a resident of this community for over 25 years, it's my ethos to advocate for and on behalf of the disenfranchised. It's always been. To serve as a beacon of hope for those ready to give up, and to encourage my sons who are here tonight to do likewise. They're here today because as a dad and as a mentor, I want them to continue to realize helping others overcome adversity and oppressive behavior is also part of their DNA. Thanks for thinking of me and my efforts to unify our community and to make this a more inclusive place to live and learn. I humbly accept the Social Justice Award for doing what comes natural to me, promoting diversity, encouraging others to value differences, raising awareness of inequality, fostering a deeper commitment to social justice, and most of all, to helping others. May these words resonate with you later, today, tomorrow, and as long as injustice exists. Remember, Martin Luther King says, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So congrats to the other recipients, and thanks again to the board.
Give back to the Athens community. So I think it's a great, wonderful program in our community, and I wish it much success in the future. So. All right.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, Kelia really is just in everything that we do. And she, I think, is a really great example of the really passionate people that we have the opportunity to work with in this community. Live Healthy Appalachia is just a baby nonprofit. We've been around for just over 5 years. And I feel like we've been able, in the time that we've existed, we've been able to accomplish so much because we have incredible staff, most of whom are working tonight by choice. We have lots of programs that are going on. We have a cooking coach program that's happening at the Plains United Methodist Church tonight. We have different trainings. We have lots of chip classes going on. We have an incredible board. 2 of our board members are here tonight, Kim Dalatar and Rick Dudding, who've been with us since the very beginning. We're really a huge part in founding the organization. People always ask us, food access is such an issue in this community, and how does Live Healthy Appalachia play into that? Everyone knows we do stuff with food, but what do we really do in terms of food access? We're not putting actual physical food in people's hands. There are incredible organizations that are doing that all over the community. What we really look at is we're empowering people through education and through exposure, whether it's through our CHIP classes, whether it's through our Live Healthy Kids program, where each month we are teaching 900 school children in 2nd and 3rd grade in Athens County, not only just about vegetables and why it would be a good idea to eat them from time to time, but why they're good for you, how to actually make them. We're encouraging kids to cook with their families at home and to create those connections, because I think we all know that's such an important connection that can be made between parent and child. So we're really just hoping, as all of these organizations are doing this great work in the community, that's our piece. We're exposing people to foods that they may not have had exposure to, and we're showing them what to do with them. We can give someone a rutabaga or an eggplant at a food drive, but if they don't know how to cook it when they get home, we haven't done our full job. So that's really what we've decided to focus our energies around. That's what we do a lot of work in. And we do a lot of creating social networks, not like Facebook and things like that, but actual social networks in the community where people can find support. I think when you're making the decision to change your lifestyle and to change your habits, it can be so hard if you don't have that support. And that's something that we've really tried to focus on over the last couple of years. People like Kelia, who are going out into communities across the county with our Cooking Coaches program and teaching people how to cook in a really supportive environment. That's been a really exciting thing that we've been able to do. So thank you so much to UCM, and we really appreciate this. It was a lovely surprise.
Hi everyone, I'm Amanda. I serve as the secretary of the board, and I get a very great honor in that I get to bring up Austin Babro and the other folks from OU Climate Action Now, so OU Can. So if you want to join me. So the reason why we are honoring this amazing organization tonight is for the work that the organization is doing to attempt to ask Ohio University to live up to its moral responsibility to go a greener path, to divest from fossil fuels, and make our university a more sustainable part of the community of our country, and to really be a force for change. And that's what OU Can is asking Ohio University is constantly pushing at that battle. I said to Austin earlier, it's like an immovable object, right, sometimes when it's a very large infrastructure. and a lot of the ways that that can be pushed off to push for that change. So that's what OUCAN is doing, is it's really keeping at the forefront of Ohio University the need for us to go green as a university and in our community. So that's why we're honoring this amazing organization tonight. So thank you so much for the work that you do. So let's give you your, awesome. I think we're taking pictures.
Thanks very much. I feel very honored, especially honored because I'm not OUCAN. I'm just one person among many that have been involved in this organization. I think I'll mention just a few because so many people have contributed. So Zach Bloomer, a student at OU, is a very heavy lifter, and Lorraine McCosker and Joe Carver and Christine Hughes are some of the folks that have been really very heavily involved all along the way. And I guess, of course, we're interested in pushing the university to green itself, particularly in the area of energy, because the university is the largest consumer of energy in the county, and because it has an aging and failing and infrastructure that's just full of problems. And we learned that the university is committed to fixing this infrastructure, but fixing it to be a better and a more modernized fossil fuel infrastructure. So I think the estimate is that within about 10 or 20 years we'll have an absolutely state-of-the-art 20th century energy system. So we believe, like probably just about everybody in the audience, that climate is an absolutely huge social justice issue, like Van Jones says. When the environment's threatened, it's usually the most vulnerable people that are hurt first and worst. As a university, we have a particular responsibility to the future, and if we are not leaders in energy innovation, then we're really reneging on our responsibility. We're tyrannizing the future, the future generations of students and the broader community. So we are pressuring the university to move directly, immediately toward sustainable energy. The university tells us that they have 500 million good reasons to delay, $500 million in deferred maintenance, and we're trying to say, well, that's just not a good enough reason to delay and to keep us in the 20th century. So anyway, thanks very much for the recognition on behalf of the other members of the group. We're really delighted, and we're going to try to use this award as more energy, sustainable energy. Thanks very much.
And I'm just so glad that you're here. Oftentimes, we in Athens get very Athens-centric, so it's great to be able to pull in people from the county, activists from around the county, and part of this event is connection, right? That we're not alone in the struggles, because sometimes it feels very isolating in the work that we do. So thank you again for being here. Come on up, Torch Can Do.
Well, these are two of a team of 5+ women and their spouses joining, and who have come together over the last year, or it's really less than a year. And Roxanne and I have supported them, but what's been so amazing is just how, it's just the ideal of mentorship, and you are just models of being able to take in the resources from us and learn from what we can offer, and then run with it and take leadership, and always do so. This group of 5 works together as a wonderful cooperative in this wonderful model of no ego, and just doing what needs to be done, doing the details of the agenda and the research. When Susie has questions, she just finds the answers and writes the grant proposal, gets the grant to get the CHEJ, the Center for Health, Environment, and Justice National Award, to help them with their expenses. And Felicia, who, as the program says, said, I can't imagine calling a public official, now literally hounds Lou Gentile till he responds. supposed to tell my children that you can't protect, you're not going to work to protect their futures? And the meeting that's mentioned in the program didn't happen because, of course, Rick Simmers got a little cold feet thinking he was actually going to have to talk to these women. So he canceled the meeting that he had agreed to have. But it's been a joy to get to know these women. It's been an honor, and they make it fun. Susie always brings chocolate, too, to our meetings. And they're just an amazing group, and it's been a delight. So Roxanne, you should come up, too, and join us. They keep saying we're really part of Torch Can Do, but it's been wonderful to give what we know and see you develop and just take the reins and jump in and stay focused on this really horrible stuff with a positive energy and an ability to just make the work fun that is really inspiring. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is what an honor. And as Heather did say, talking, you had mentioned just being a baby group. We're 8 months old. And if you would have asked me 8 months ago about being an activist, I would have said being what? And since then, I have dived in both feet, and I will never look back. I had mentioned to Peggy a little bit ago that I'm so far out of my comfort zone that I can't go back. And yes, we are battling the injection wells, and they seem to be coming up every day in our area. And I'm just going to do whatever I can and continue to do whatever I can to make our voices be heard and stop it. We're meeting with, as she said, we hound the senator. I do. I'm meeting with him actually Friday to meet and discuss for a moratorium. So.
And he's coming down to you.
Yes, he's coming to me. Yes, and we will go from there. So.
No, he won't.
Nope, this one's pretty much set.
Susie, that's true. How many people have received a call or a message on your answering machine from a senator? Felicia has. She has worked really hard, and she is the sort of the fire in our group to get us, excited. It's just been, we're really humbled that you would even nominate us because we're just starting, and the people, you all have accomplished so much for so many years, and like she said, we're just like 8 months old, but we really appreciate Heather and Roxanne both reaching out to us. We had no idea what was going on just like a mile from our home until they came and informed us, and so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to inform as many people as we can because they don't know either, and really it's really amazing. The nice thing is this is a terrible problem, the injection wells, but the silver lining is that we get to have met such nice people.
Yeah,
thank you. I want to add one thing about your group when talking about developing your leadership. Now they're already a model and going out into other communities. Felicia and Roxanne and I went to Cutler based on their meetings in Torch that drew people from Cutler who then wanted to do a meeting. And anyway, so the model spreads. The word is getting out that we can stand up.
And I'd like to invite Jelana Watson up. This year, Bobby Walker and Jelana Watson, and unfortunately Bobby Walker couldn't be with us tonight. So were nominated for their activism for issues of sexual assault awareness, for racism on campus and in our community, and for organizing against tuition hikes. They've done a lot of really amazing work. After Ohio University announced in fall that they were suspending the Survivor Advocate Program for sexual assault survivors, Bobby and Jolana organized a sit-in at the president's office to draw attention to the need for some kind of confidential services and that we needed to figure out a plan. And it caused the provost to send out a pretty quick email on a Friday afternoon, which we know how well those go, right, to really talk about what we should be doing when it comes to survivors of sexual violence on our campus. But also when the Paris bombings and the San Bernardino terrorist attacks happened, I use that about the San Bernardino, air quotes. We don't really know what happened there, right? But Jolana and Bobby organized protester or community celebrations about immigrants and refugees and why we need to embrace immigrants and refugees. But in addition, they've also done some great work in bringing together communities of color and people of color on our campus to have safe spaces where they can engage and build community in a predominantly white institution, in a predominantly white area, to have a home base and a community that feels safe and welcoming, where they can talk through issues. And we really wanted to highlight the work of these two amazing undergraduate students doing awesome work in their time here as students. So that's why we're honoring y'all tonight. So thank you so much for your work.
POC dinners, and they're basically every Friday night we have a dinner for people of color to just talk about politics and race issues without having to, I guess, without having the microaggressions that come with living in a predominantly white campus. Yeah, Bobby's actually, she can't be here because her commitment to social justice is so strong that she went to Mexico. It's for a meeting. It's with the Planned Parenthood International Federation, and so she's doing great work over in Mexico. But yeah, Bobby and I, we met my sophomore year, her freshman year, and I think it's really interesting because both of our parents are from Guyana in South America. And if you know anything about Guyana, there's really strong racial tension between Black Guyanese and Indian Guyanese. And I think our friendship is more than just a relationship, it's solidarity between two groups that have commonly been in tension with each other. And I don't know where my activism would be without her. Yeah. When we first met, it took us a week before we moved in together, and then we would study together, and then every time we would study, we just end up talking about politics for an hour, and then it got to the point where I was like, I can't study with you, Bobby. I need to do my work. But then after talking about politics, and we got active on politics, and that was really great. Love her to death, and I think she would have loved to be here tonight.
We have a certificate for her.
All right, thank you. One more round of applause for all of our I'm always inspired and encouraged by all of the recipients every year, and it just, I think, reinvigorates me to stay active as much as I can in between my work, my daily work, what I get paid to do. I try to do as much as I can in the Athens community to stay active and to stay informed on all the issues that are going on. And every year I learn something brand new about a brand new organization that's in the community. And I thank you all for coming again tonight this year to come to the Social Justice Awards once again. And I encourage you all to stay active in whatever you're doing. Continue to communicate with Melissa all the things that you're doing. If there are new issues coming up in the community as well, make sure you email her, because then she'll inform the board of what's going on and we can support you in that way. I want to bring Evan back up as he leads us in closing the program.
Kelly, you're about to learn something new here. Working for social justice, giving your life to social justice requires a lot of things. It requires dedication, commitment, passion, intelligence, connections, support from other people. But at the bottom, what it requires is spirit. It requires that energy that wells up from the depths of your soul. And the best way I know to engage that spirit and to share that spirit is in song. So y'all gonna sing. We're gonna sing a song that has become a favorite of mine. It was introduced to me by a group called Emma's Revolution. And I came here tonight prepared to share it with you, and I told Reverend Jan, this is the song I want to sing. And she said, oh, I love that song. She said, it's the song she wanted to sing. And she remembers it as a song from...
Well, I said the civil rights movement. I wouldn't swear that's exactly true.
So, don't worry. It's easy. But since you're singing for social justice, and you're singing to lift your spirit and the spirits of everyone here, and the spirits of the people out there, you're going to have to sing loud. Okay? We're going to teach you how to do it, and then y'all are going to help. Okay? Sure, sure. Stand up.
If you're able.
As you're willing and able. The song is called Keep On Moving Forward. And we'll start. Gonna keep on moving forward. Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Now I need some help. I need a beat. You can tap your foot. Ready? So let's do this together. I'm going to keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward.